Righto. So Professor the Honourable Wendel Abel, among 8 individuals conferred with membership in the Order of Jamaica. And he now joins us to discuss this milestone and this honour. It is the what, 4th?
It's the 4th for a Jamaican,
right.
5th overall,
right.
because the Order of Excellence cannot be given to a Jamaican. So
right.
it's the Order of the Nation, well, it's a National Hero first, Order of Nation second, Order of Excellence, Order of Merit, and Order of Jamaica. Which means he always goes with the Honourable or OJ at the end of his name.
And which so also means, as you would say, that he's a what? He's a big thing.
He's a big thing. So it's either, in a very serious way, it's either Professor Wendel Abel, OJ, or the Honourable Professor Wendel Abel.
Or Professor the Honourable.
Yeah.
That's all?
Yeah. Congratulations, sir.
Having said all that.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How does it feel, Prof? How does it feel?
I say, but when I heard, I received it with a profound sense of appreciation, but it was tempered by a sense of humility. And you may ask why, and of course, it's appreciation to be recognized for one's work, but also humility because on reflection I realize I have been given a privilege, that privilege to serve this country, and especially those living with mental illness.
Yeah. Double-barrel question, sir. Why psychiatry in the first place, and how young or how long ago did you decide that's where you wanted to go?
I think I decided from very early. That's psychiatry. Early age, even before, I think while I was in high school, it was either to do psychiatry, which means doing medicine, or to become a career diplomat. You know, I don't know what's the connection between the two. But I think the why psychiatry also, it's, you know, they talk about the wounded healer. And I grew up hearing that my mother suffered from postpartum psychosis, which is a mental illness. So when I was born, apparently she was ill. And she died when I was age 6. So
I'm sorry.
I live with the memories, hearing of, you know, what she suffered from, and I think that kind of drove me to influence me in pursuing a career in psychiatry.
In a lot of ways, are you a wounded healer then?
Well, maybe. I suppose. I mean, firstly, if you to have experienced the death of a mother at age 6, right? It's going to impact on you psychologically throughout life, yes. But also to live with the memory that she may have suffered from psychosis during childbirth or after childbirth, then of course it would have impacted one over a lifetime.
So this article says you dedicated your life to mental. How many years does that equate? How long have you been?
Well, I graduated from med school about 1985, so that's about 40 years. And I think went into psychiatry 32 years ago. So I've spent 32 years in mental health, almost all my life. So
tell me what you've seen. I mean, I don't know if it was sexy when you studied it. You know, we've been very hush-hush about it. I know some of us are trying to buck the walls. Here you are in 2024. Look back, retrospective on your journey. Are we more open? Are we doing better?
Well,
are we making progress?
I'll answer the first question. I don't think it was sexy. I think when I graduated, there were probably only about 10 psychiatrists in Jamaica. So it was a popular field. And in fact, when I graduated, my first job was in St. Anne, the parish of St. Anne, and I was in charge of a large area. And at one time, I was the only psychiatrist practicing outside of Kingston and St. Andrew.
Wow.
Yes, I was the only rural psychiatrist. And in fact, had to cover the rural belt at times, which meant that it was hard work, long hours. But I've seen changes over the years. In fact, when I went to St. Anne's Bay to work, I don't think they knew what to do with me. Who is a psychiatrist? What are his needs? And I have to think, in thinking back, I have to thank the then CEO of the hospital, Gwen Hamilton, and the doctor in charge, Dr. Wilson, who gave me a lot of support and encouragement to start my career as a psychiatrist in rural Jamaica. And over time, I've seen tremendous changes. 30-odd years ago, there was a high level of stigma, discrimination. People didn't want to come to the psychiatrist because they think that
They're mad. You're going to see them as
mad or something like that, yes. And people would probably treat you differently. You probably lose your job. They treat you badly in school and so on. And I've seen significant improvement over the years to the extent that a lot of people today will walk into my office and not just only walk in, but they'll come in and say, I am depressed. I need to be treated.
Thank God.
So things have changed, yes, in terms of awareness in Jamaica, in terms of our attitude towards mental illness and towards persons living with mental illness, you know. And I must say, especially so among the young people. The young people nowadays, the millennials and the Gen Zs, they're not afraid to just walk in and say, look, doc, I have ADHD, I have depression, I need to go on medication or I need therapy. So the population as a society, we have matured immensely. We also have seen a lot of changes in terms of services available. I think fortunately for us, successive administrations have prioritized mental health, so much so that today the Ministry of Health and Wellness prioritizes psychiatry, and therefore we get substantial support in terms of services and so on. And, you know, I was thinking this morning and say to myself, what are some of the significant changes? One, I think in the area of training of mental health professionals, for example, psychiatrists. I still work at the University of the West Indies. So after my career in government, I moved to university in 2000. And for the past 25 years, I've been involved in training psychiatrists. And under my watch, and I must also give credit to the late Professor Frederick Hicklin, right? We have trained the largest number of psychiatrists in our history, yeah? To the extent that we have about 45 psychiatrists practicing, you know. So moving from 10 to 45 in 2 decades is a significant milestone, because training of psychiatrists is, of course, a very expensive activity.
Honourable Professor, how tough is it for you, though? I mean, I don't know if it was you who came here and told us that all of us have some kind of mental illness that sometimes.
It sounds like Prof, but...
yeah, but so how tough that you keep hearing these problems from people, and someone asked me one time, who do I speak to? Who do you speak to? Because this must be tough. I don't know how many you say every day, every week, every month, but it can be easy to just hearing these problems, telling them what to do and go home and just go sleep easy and comfortable.
You're correct. It's not easy, especially when we're dealing with trauma. You know, there's a high level of exposure to trauma in this country, especially among children and adolescents. And, you know, it's often, you know, when you're treating somebody with trauma, it's all the way drama, lots of drama, right? And, you know, it's often said that no individual survives trauma alone, and no therapist treats trauma alone, because it's painful, it's difficult, it's emotionally draining. And very often, you know, you do a session and you have to take some time out to just kind of offload a lot of the emotions and the pain and so on.
How do you do that, sir?
I do it. Unfortunately, I'm in a practice with other persons.
Every therapist has
every therapist has to have a therapist, somebody that you can just sit and just share, and they'll allow you to just download a lot of things and so on, you know. So I've had that opportunity, you know, to just be able to work through issues and so on. But with time and with experience, you learn to deal with it better. You have to compartmentalize.
Yes. Have you ever got to the point that you said, boy, this is too rough? I will step back a little bit.
I've gotten close to that point, but I love my job, right? And I see it every day as an opportunity to make a difference in people's lives.
And how does that feel that I come to you and say, boy, I'm depressed, Prof, and ting, and 2 weeks later you see me say, Prof, man, but good man, and fish
2 weeks is magic.
Yeah, I mean, how good does that feel?
And it's literally 2 weeks, you know, because in terms of the treatment of depression, that most people actually respond to treatment within a 2-week period. It is very gratifying, because, you know, the perception out there is that people, when somebody has a mental illness or disorder, they probably will never get better. And there are some conditions that are long term. But the truth is, the vast majority of people will get better, and it's very gratifying. It's reassuring when you see somebody show sign of improvement. They're able to get back to their studies or get back to work and to resume their activities as per usual. It's a very gratifying experience.
Congratulations again, sir. Very well deserved.
Thank you very much,
Thanks.
and thanks to you all for the great work you do in the area of mental health.
Thank you, sir. Well, she more than I, she's a qualified counselor now, so I know if I need help, I can, in a very serious way. I know she's here for me.
And
Me too.
And I don't charge you.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Thank you so much, Prof. You are inspiring.
Yeah,
You're
man.
inspiring.
Professor of Psychiatry, the Honourable Wendel Abel.
All right, we have more on Smile after this.